Okay, so now that the big Lomachenko fight happened, all these lightweight fights have unfolded with Teofimo and Haney and Tank and Kambosos and Loma and Comey, etc. I think we can now I'm going to kind of wrap all this little lightweight saga that's been going on for the past 3 weeks up in this video, okay? I think it's pretty, first of all, I'm going to say this. I think it's pretty clear that Lomachenko obviously had some kind of injury going into that Teofimo fight. I mean, at first, I'm going to be honest with you. At first, I thought Lomachenko was coming up with a bullshit excuse. But after seeing his last two performances with Nakatani and Comey, it's pretty obvious he had something wrong with his arm, guys. Like, so to me, you know, and off of first reaction, you guys who remember my old channel remember this. I thought Lomachenko was coming up with an excuse, but after seeing his last two performances, nah, man. There was obviously some kind of injury he was going through there with the rotator cuff in his shoulder and what have you. So I think that's pretty clear as day now. But I wanted to talk about and another thing I want to state, other than Kambosos, because he pulled off the big upset as a 13-1 underdog in A, B, C, and D, it's pretty clear Lomachenko had the best performance of all of them, okay? And you could even argue that he had a better performance than Kambosos, because Kambosos did get dropped against Teofimo Lopez and got rattled a few times. Loma pitched a one-sided shutout against Richard Comey, in which he could have stopped him, but Richard Comey's a nice guy, and Lomachenko likes the dude, so he showed him some mercy. With Tank and Haney and them boys, there won't be such a thing. He will show no mercy against them. Now, this is my honest assessment, man, because I want to talk about Lomachenko's, his greatness, and I really don't like talking about fighters' greatness while they're still active, unless it's like a Pacquiao who, you know, while he was still going, was obviously one of the best of all time. Not of his era, ever, you know. So here's my thing, bro, with Lomachenko, and people can deny this all they want to. I've been watching boxing religiously since I was a child. It's in my blood, okay? My grandfather boxed, my dad boxed, his brother's a black belt, my 3 older cousins are black belts, they all kickboxed, did karate or boxed, and, you know, so it's in my blood. I remember the Tyson Holyfield fight when I was 5 years old when he bit his ear off. I remember it like it was yesterday because my dad had money on the fucking thing. So I've been like watching it and scoring fights since I was that age, since I was 7, 8, 9, you know, since I was a pup, okay? And to be honest with you, even though I might be younger than some of you guys, I've been following the sport with a closer eye than most of you dudes have, whether you're older than me or not, okay? And that's not being cocky or bragging. That's just me being truthful. And I'm going to tell you this right now, man. I've never seen anything like Lomachenko. Never. And this is of me watching with a very close eye and knowing how to score boxing and all this other for the past 25 years. Never seen anything like him. When a dude is so fucking good that Pacquiao was the same way. When Pacquiao was in his prime, I'm like, dude, I've never seen anything like this dude before. He's something special. And that's exactly what Lomachenko has. Another good example of that would be, even though this was before my time, was a young, before the drugs took over, Hector Camacho, okay? That was another one. When he, pre-Rosario fight, Camacho, it was stellar, okay? Now, after that Rosario fight, Hector Camacho turned into a little track sprint runner and didn't want to fight anymore. Lomachenko's not like that. He likes to fight. And I think we also have to give Something that's going slept on Lomachenko's behalf, in my personal opinion, is his chin. Going into that Teofimo fight, that was the one thing I was worried about, if he'd get caught with a big shot and get knocked out. He did not. Richard Comey is a big, big puncher. Took his best shots, didn't faze him. The dude has an underrated, a criminally underrated chin, in my opinion. Okay? Not to mention the last 6 or 7 dudes he fought have all been much bigger. All right? But I've never seen anything like it. And Usyk, the same goes to Usyk, bro. In my opinion, Usyk's the best cruiserweight of all time. Okay? And yes, that's including Holyfield. But I can make a whole video about that. Resume-wise, accomplishment-wise. I'm not talking about what Holyfield did at heavyweight. What he did at cruiserweight doesn't match up to Usyk's. I've never seen anything like Lomachenko before. And that, mind you, this is coming from somebody who watched a prime Marquez, prime Barrera, prime Morales, prime Roy Jones, prime Holyfield, prime Lennox, prime Trinidad, prime Cotto, you know, prime Roy Jones. I've never seen anything like Lomachenko before. Ever. Okay? Prime Holyfield. Tyson, it wasn't in his prime when I came of age, but nevertheless, I've never seen anything. That's another good analogy. It would be a young Mike Tyson. Not for the power or the tenacity of Mike Tyson, but just the fact that you've never seen this shit before, but from anybody. You know what I'm saying? And that's what kind of separates Loma, and by extension Usyk, from these other guys to me. Okay, from a lot of these dudes to me. This is just my opinion. And I remember Mark Kriegel and Joe Tessitore had mentioned this in the Jorge Linares fight, when he in his first fight at lightweight, when he jumped up and fought the #1 dude in the division at the time. You know, Lomachenko has a lot of little seasoning of a lot of these all-time greats. He's got a little bit of Pacquiao with the footwork and the straight left hand, okay? And I'm not saying he's greater or lesser than any of these guys, but he's got a little sprinkle of a lot of these dudes in there, if you've noticed. He's got a little Pacquiao in him. He's got a little Pernell Whitaker in him. He's got a little Hector Camacho in him. You know, he's got a little bit of Roy in him as well. And Lomachenko said, you know, and he said it himself, Roy was my favorite fighter when I was a kid. He's got a little sprinkle, right, of some of the all-time greats in him. You know what I'm saying? And that's really what is kind of putting him and keeping him up here for me. And this isn't me, you know, being a fanboy or nothing like that. This is just my honest 2 cents on him. It's clear as day he's the best lightweight in the world, people. To me, it's not even a debate. The only case you could make is maybe with Kambosos, but I honestly don't think Kambosos is going to take that fight. But we shall see. But he's a great fighter, people. I don't give a shit what nobody has to say. And I'm going to say one more thing. When I say great fighter, you dudes, you little nerds that read boxing fucking books from 1915 and 1520 and shit, I'm not comparing Lomachenko to some dude from 1908 who had 750 fights, allegedly, because you don't know, you weren't there. Your grandfather wasn't even there. You've never seen the man fight. There's no film of him. There's no even radio telecast of him. The only thing you have is pictures and stats. So don't go whipping out some fucking dude from 115 years ago, like Benny Leonard or Abe Attell, to try to, oh, he ain't that fucking great. Get out of here with that shit. That's another thing. Some dudes underrate those dudes from the past, and some dudes overrate them. I don't compare them at all. I compare the 50s and 60s forward. Because it's an unfair comparison, not only to the dudes from back then, but to the dudes currently. All right? So I don't want to hear shit about, oh, well, fucking Abe Attell knocked out 100 people in 1 year in 1907. Get out of here with that. What, were you there? You saw it on film? All this, get out of here, bro. Get the fuck up out of here with that bullshit. I don't want to hear none of that. All right? As far as I can tell you, Hercules would have beat the shit out of Harry Greb, okay? Hercules would have TKO'd Harry Greb in the 5th round. Achilles from Troy would have knocked out, what's his face over there, Jack Johnson. Get out of here with that shit. You know, because if I can see something, it kind of helps its credibility. So, but anyways, bro, he's a great fighter. He really is. And I'm going to tell you dudes one more thing before I wrap this video up. All right? You should appreciate him while he's here, because Lomachenko is not going to be the dude that's going to be fighting when he's 42 years old, people. I think he's got about a good 7 or 8 fights left, and he's going to call it a day. So appreciate and same with Usyk. By extension, Usyk. So appreciate the man while he's here, because it's not going to last forever. All right? But he is truly a great fighter. All right? Hit the like and subscribe, please. And hit the bell notification. Everybody have a lovely evening, and God bless you. Salute.